Yesterday, a netizen left a comment asking if I could talk about Zohran Mamdani being elected mayor of New York. Honestly, I am not very interested in the domestic politics of the American empire, and I am especially uninterested in the Democratic Party. However, considering that my idol Elon Musk particularly hates Zohran Mamdani, I think it is worth making a video to share my views on Mamdani. As Musk said, Mamdani is a charismatic swindler. Yet in a previous video where I discussed Trump hating Modi, I also pointed out that magnets repel when poles are the same. Musk himself is actually a boastful, charismatic swindler. But since I like Musk so much, there must be a reason. The most important one is that he is a doer. Musk's legendary career began as a South African immigrant who relied on talent to start businesses, continuously changing the world through technological innovation and becoming the richest person on Earth. Today, I have to admit that Musk's space projects and AI projects carry serious boasting suspicions. But these projects have grand prospects and are not fraud. Musk is absolutely someone worthy of admiration. His charisma does not come from money, although having a lot of money does increase charisma. As for Mamdani, he served 7 years as a state assemblyman with a proposal passage rate of 35%, and even the public housing project he repeatedly boasted about never materialized. His political achievements are very average. Moreover, he is extremely young, only 33 years old, with no experience as an executive officer. One could even say that in today's world, a 33-year-old man has only just matured. His mind is full of socialist paths, capping rent, guaranteeing young people's housing rights, eliminating bus fares, taxing the rich, using redistribution to reduce the wealth gap, opening municipally subsidized supermarkets to ensure everyone has food, protecting immigrant rights, and promoting multiculturalism. Honestly, these are all socialist slogans that human practice has proven to carry enormous side effects and utopian myths. They might work in small countries like those in Northern Europe, but promoting them in a core metropolis like New York in the United States would severely reduce New York's competitiveness and bring catastrophic consequences. Let us look at more realistic examples. The Soviet Union and the Eastern European bloc shouted socialist slogans and rushed toward communism. Yet they went bankrupt, and their regimes changed color one after another. China is a socialist country that shouted slogans for 70 years. But what drives China now is state capitalism. No Chinese person believes in the myth that publicly owned supermarkets or free buses and subways can improve life. People work, earn money, and improve their lives. That is the best way. If you want to eat your fill, work hard. If you want housing, work even harder. If the government could solve these needs, who would still be willing to work? Why can Northern European countries establish high welfare societies? Because their national scale is small, their population is small, and these countries have no ambition to dominate the world. They do not need to maintain comprehensive competitiveness. Germany is also a high welfare country, but today's Germany has reached the edge of bankruptcy. I suggest everyone watch more videos from AfD leader Weidel to understand the truth about Germany. Americans can also investigate on the ground in Germany to see what price a country pays for high welfare and large-scale immigrant intake, and whether such a model can last. Mamdani is the Democratic version of Charlie Kirk. He relies on social activism and platforms like TikTok to please young people and gain massive traffic. Charlie Kirk has the MAGA base, while Mamdani has the base of immigrants and left-wing youth. Therefore, they can easily gain visibility and build political capital. If the United States were still the sole superpower, Mamdani and the Democratic fans could continue messing around, since no country could compete with the United States for resources and wealth. But the problem is that China is rising rapidly and is already neck and neck with the United States. Chinese people have no concept of high welfare happy lives. China is just a massive and efficient machine operating 24 hours a day. Now Chinese people can screw in bolts on production lines and sell products to the United States at low prices. But if China earns more and more money, and one day the Chinese suddenly stop selling products or sell them to Americans at 10 times the price, What will Americans do? I often mock Trump and the MAGA crowd for their manufacturing return plans as fairy tales that are impossible to achieve. Yet at least the MAGA people recognize the crisis and are trying to save it. One most basic question. All of Mamdani's slogans and policies are about redistributing the existing cake. Does he have any governing program to create a bigger cake? Right now, New York's rich can be slaughtered and redistributed a second time. But what if these rich people all leave? If the rich stop buying houses and housing prices crash, who will pay taxes to maintain municipal facilities? Who will provide jobs? If boasting on TikTok could create wealth, would the United States still need entrepreneurs like Musk? I have always fiercely opposed any high welfare policies. The extremely poor should have the state as a safety net, but the vast majority of people should obtain better lives through competition on their own. If they fail in competition, they must calmly face poverty. Only when a society establishes efficiency through competition can it substantially raise baseline welfare. When society becomes highly developed, baseline welfare can also bring living standards far exceeding those of the rich in backward societies, allowing people to live with more dignity. 30 years ago, even the richest families in China dared not imagine living in houses with elevators and air conditioning, or every household owning a car. In that era, eating meat once a week was a luxury. But now, even the poorest Chinese people do not worry about eating meat or fruit. This is the change brought by overall societal competitiveness. Behind this are countless Chinese workers on production lines screwing in bolts for 10 hours a day, countless people peddling sewing machines for 10 hours a day, countless Chinese students burning the midnight oil and studying hard, and countless Chinese scientists and engineers working day and night to improve production efficiency. This is the driving force that has coalesced. Happy lives are created by labor, not by robbing the wealth of the rich. The Chinese people practiced egalitarianism, and the consequences were catastrophic. The entire country fell into poverty and panic, and countless people lost their lives. Honestly, I feel sad for the United States. In just over a decade, this superpower has been ruined by the hypocritical political slogans of Obama and the Democrats. In economic construction, the Democrats have achieved almost nothing since Obama. They are keen on shouting various political slogans and implementing all sorts of so-called welfare policies, consuming America's wealth and national strength to please lazy people who do not want to work and to tolerate immigrants who have no work skills and only know how to commit crimes. Trump is the antidote for the United States, but this antidote is poisonous. He will push the United States from one extreme to another. But if I were an industrialist like Musk, between Trump's MAGA camp and the Democrats' utopian camp, I would unhesitatingly support Trump. In the video I commented on the day before yesterday about Vance's dialogue with the Indian immigrant girl, I said that Vance is a villain, but his ideas are correct. The United States is a Christian country. Its strength comes from family responsibility and urban labor, not from multiculturalism. If the United States wants to regain its rhythm in competition with China, it must rebuild the country around urban labor and Christianity. Multiculturalism is not the reason for America's strength. It is a social phenomenon after America became strong. Please note that I do not oppose inclusive multiculturalism, but I strongly oppose changing society because of promoting multiculturalism to the point of affecting productivity. Of course, I actually do not mind if Americans continue their internal fights. If the Democrats want a final carnival, they can continue launching utopians like Sanders and Mamdani to exhaust Americans' patience and let Trump and the MAGA people rule forever until the Democratic Party disintegrates. If in 2028 the Democrats can rely on traditional political stars like Newsom to win against MAGA one more time, that would be fine too. Anyway, I am not American, and I have no plans to live in the United States. If Americans want to keep conducting social experiments and provide textbook cases for all humanity, I support them doing so. After all, this is better than them having spare energy to drop bombs around the world.